right, it is time for Friday Reads. Hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I'm super excited to be here today and to share with you my Friday Reads video. In my Friday Reads videos, I share the books that I finished, the books that I started, and anything interesting about books that I'm carrying over week to week. And I think I have a little bit of everything this week, and I am going to start with the Halloween Creature feature reading Extravaganza titles, which is the month-long readathon that I am participating in that is hosted by John of Books of Blood and Jason of Jason's Weird Reads. I will leave links to their announcement videos down below. Check them out. And yeah, so I did, but before I get to that, I do just want to mention, just in case, I don't know, I never know whether people want to know how things are going, like this year is so but here in Toronto, we actually did get the official announcement last week that Toronto, Peel, and Ottawa are all being going back to sort of stage 2 type restrictions. So we're 1 week into at least 28 days of these restrictions because we have had spikes. So not fun, but important. So yeah, so that's how things are going there. It's our first sort of official setback, but this does feel like it's a long haul event. So it's important to know what's going on and all that good stuff. And yeah, so I just thought I'd share. Feel free to let me know how things are going where you are. I know it's one of the things that I love about YouTube is that we are all in different places, and then some of us are actually close by because there are fellow Toronto booktubers that I know. Hey Sarah, hey Jen, hey Carla, yeah, so I just thought I would share sort of how things are here, because why not? Why not? Anyway, so let's get to the books. So I did finish for Halloween Creature feature reading Extravaganza. I finished East of the Sun and West of the Moon. This is a collection of Norwegian fairy tales, and I read it for the prompt of Moon in the title, which was the werewolf prompt. So this does have Moon in the title, but unfortunately there were no werewolves hiding in the book. I was hopeful, but I knew it was a bit of a gamble. There were a fair amount of trolls. Trolls are featured in many of the stories, and there was lots of, tricking people and needing to go on quests. There were lots of princesses being offered for reward for, deeds. And there was there was one that had it's like a thing in D&D, the Mighty League boots or 40 League boots. There was a story that had something like that, and there was a story that had a ship that could fit in someone's pocket, and then when he took it out, it grew to like a big ship, like a boat ship, like on the water ship. So that one was pretty cool. So yeah, but unfortunately no werewolves hiding in there. So I feel like I kind of hit the prompt, but didn't really hit the prompt. But if I did need a title that had a werewolf in it, I did read earlier this month, I finished Clean Sweep by Ilona Andrews. This is a reread for me. This is an urban fantasy / science fiction book. It's the first in a series, and it centers on Dina, who is a innkeeper, and her inn is an inn that caters to supernatural beings or paranormal beings, and she has a symbiotic relationship with the inn. So the more it has guests and the more the guests are happy, the stronger the inn becomes. And there is a werewolf in the story. It's not the protagonist, but there is a werewolf in the story. I probably will continue reading this series. It's one of the series that I want to read this year that I put on my stacking the series, but I fell behind. It's been a couple of years since I read the first 2 books, so I thought instead of jumping into the third, maybe I'll go back and reread them. And I love these books. This series is really, and it's really cool to see something that really is a combination of urban fantasy and science fiction. It truly has elements of both. I'm a fan of Ilona Andrews as an author. They're a duo. So I probably will continue the series. So this did have a werewolf in it, although there's no moon or wolf in the title, so maybe between the two I get enough points, or what. I know there's no points, but you know what I mean. Okay, what else am I reading? I'm continuing to read Haunted Toronto by John Robert Colombo. I finished the South section, and Central East and Central West. So I think last week I talked about some of the U of T stuff and like the UC Ghost and the Robertson Davies book, and that was really cool. And then so I finished off the other, I guess it was Central West. There was a really, really scary story about a Queen, I think it was called the Queen Street Haunting, about people actually feeling, I think two couples moved into like two stories, like the second and third, not a flat because it's two and it's not, it's Canadian, but like it was like a 3-story building. There's like a storefront or whatever on the bottom floor or the main floor, and then I think the second and third floor were rented out, and the people that lived there like felt presences and saw things. Not actually like saw, I can't remember if they saw things, but as well as like saw things in their mind and of like horrible things. It was scary. I had to put the book down after that one. So this has been like, I really thought this would be a fast read, but I think it's going to take me all month. And because I found that really, really scary. And then there's other stories where there actually doesn't appear to be anything supernatural or paranormal. There is a story, but it doesn't seem like, that's one of the weird things I find about this collection is I feel like there isn't necessarily, like at the end of the but at the end of the story, section, there isn't a definitive, like, we think this happened or we thought that happened. It's more sort of information based, like, location, time period, resources, and then like a gathering of the information. So it's like you get to determine yourself whether or not you feel like it happened or not. So it's a very different format to me. And I'm reading a fair amount of collections right now, and that's a little hard to keep them all straight. Even though these are nonfiction and the other one were fairy tales. Like it shouldn't be, but whatever. Like these days it's hard to keep anything straight. So anyway, I am enjoying it. I do want to finish it. So I have the next section will be East Toronto, and then there's also West and North. So yeah, I'm trying, I didn't think it would take this long, but it is good. And I always like to have some nonfiction in the works, and that is for dead or undead prompt. Although I realized I started something else just kind of randomly, like just continued a series, and I think this could also qualify for the dead or undead one, and that is Pirate's Passion by Lisa Kessler. This is the second book in I think it's the Sentinels of Savannah series, and this is a paranormal romance series centered on immortal pirates. Immortal pirates. So are immortals dead or undead? I don't know if it quite qualifies, but it's immortal pirates paranormal romance. It's awesome. So this is the second book. I read the first book in the summer during summer fling, and the first book was a novella, Magnolia Mystic. I think that was the name of the boat. And then this one, I've just read the beginning, and it centers on the guy is the lead singer for the Scallywags, who are a band, like a rock band, and the woman is a historian. And they set up the story in the first book of like what's going on with there's sort of like a question about the immortalness or not. Are things changing? So again, fits the prompt. So I really enjoyed the first book. And also Lisa Kessler, the author, has a YouTube channel, and she does tarot readings on her YouTube channel. So that is super cool. I'll leave a link up above. And that was one of the things I was so impressed by the first book, is that the representation of tarot in the book, because so often it's misrepresented, and pretty much if you see tarot in a movie or a book or a TV show, there is sort of one thing that it is used for, and it is what it is always used for, and that's not necessarily what that means all the time. And I get so tired of seeing, as someone who has read tarot for many years, I get so tired of seeing it. It's not technically incorrect, but it's so divisive. I get like but the representation of the tarot in the first book was really good, and turns out the author reads tarot, so it makes sense. So anyway, so that is what I have been reading as well. I am still working on My Soul to Keep by Tananarive. And I feel like this one I might miss the prompt on it a little bit, because the prompt is to read a vampire novel by a female author. But I think this might not be necessarily a vampire novel from one of the reviews I saw on Goodreads. So, oops. But I am going to keep going on this. It is, I gotta say, like, if I didn't know this had any paranormal or supernatural or even horror elements to it, I, so far, just from reading it, haven't picked up on any. So I don't know if it's slow burn or something. Like, the series is called African Immortals. So again, immortals, not vampires. So I don't know. Might miss the prompt. But anyway, I'm going to keep on with it. It's slow going for me on this one. It's a bit more I don't know, it's a bit more regular novel. I don't know. I guess I read a lot of paranormal urban fantasy, and there is a certain pace to a lot of the series that I've read, and and this is more regular. That's so weird to say. Do you know what I mean by that? You know what I mean? Anyway, so, but if I do need, this is also kind of a cheat, but I might go with Sweep and Peace by Ilona Andrews for that prompt, but that actually also would be a cheat because it is a author duo that's a husband and wife team, so it's not by a female author, and I can't remember if this has a vampire in it or not. So, but I might just read it anyway because I'm just going to continue the series. Anyway, so that is most of my Halloween creature feature reading extravaganza stuff. I am going to work on My Soul to Keep. I am going to work on Haunted Toronto. I think I'm going to work on those two this week, and then I am going to read The Ballad of Black Tom, not this week, but next week. And this week I'm going to try and finish up some of the shorter works that I am working on. And I think with all of those, I think I'll hit all the prompts with whatever I finished last week with the cryptids, and I still want to read a Goosebumps book too, which may hopefully hit something. I am not sure. So, and I do also want to say thank you to anyone who watched my my tag video on the original remake versus original for the horror films. I had a lot of fun doing that. I actually filmed it last year when I was doing 31 Days of Horror, but then I had 31 Days of Horror, so I had daily videos, and so it was a bit much, I thought, to add it. So, but thank you. I know horror movies aren't everyone's thing, but thank you to everyone who watched that. And if you want, I did also release my older videos for 31 Days of Horror that I did in 2019, as well as 2015, and I'll leave those linked down below. They both have their own playlists. I'm not doing 31 Days of Horror this year. I'm having a harder time watching any film with like more intense content just because of the world, but I am watching some older movies. I have like a 50 horror pack that's all sort of like public domain, mostly not great movies, so that's about the pace I'm doing this year, and they're all like an hour and 10 minutes long, so that's what's working for me. So anyway, let me know if you're watching any horror movies this month. And I do want to watch Suspiria, though. I do want to watch Suspiria. Thank you to John for pointing that one out, because I do want to watch that, the remake. I watched the original in my Italian film class back at art school, and I loved it. And everyone was like, what is this? And I'm like, this is awesome! Anyway, so yeah, okay, so now let's get on to some of the other books that I've been reading. I finished Heartstopper by Alice Osman. This is a graphic novel. It's the first in a series. It is a boy romance, or boy meets boy. It is a romance. It's a coming of age story as well, because it centers on two boys, one who is out and one who is not. And so there is lots of tenderness and tentativeness and sensitivity and friendship, and and you can see that grow to more, and it is so sweet, and so, but not only sweet, like it's also, you see the tough, like emotional stuff that's going on, and the challenges that they face and social dynamics and stuff like that too. I didn't know until reading afterwards that this is based on characters that are in one of the author's novels. So that's interesting that it's like sort of in a way a graphic novel that's a prequel to characters, but I don't think they're the main characters. I think they're like the side characters or something. So because this is the first thing that I've read by the author. I really enjoyed it. I want to continue the series. Unfortunately, the second volume isn't available at the library or on Hoopla yet, so I will keep my eye out for that. This one took a long time to come in from the library. I requested it back during Pride, so back during Pride Month in June, and it just came in now, so, which is in some ways good because it shows there's lots of interest, but on the other hand, I should see if I can get the library to request a second title. I don't think I put in a request this month, so I will see if I can do that. So highly recommend that. It was really, really wonderful. I did also read for book club, Marked by the Marshal by Julianne Lindsay. This is for Nicole and Jen's book club at Nicole's channel, who picked this book. I'll put the link up above. So the live show happened already. It was on Wednesday. This is a romantic suspense, or it's a Harlequin intrigue, which is romantic suspense, and it follows, it's a second chance romance following U.S. Marshal and his ex, and then there's a what's it called? He's a marshal, so he is looking for a fugitive, I guess, who is an arsonist. It was actually quite intense. It was quite, when it got intense, it got quite intense. So I was like, oh my, oh my. So the discussion for that is up. I will leave it up above and down below. And then we're switching over to Cozy Mysteries, and the next one up is Apple Cider Slaying, the first in the the Cider Shop Mystery Series, also by Julianne Lindsay. I just started this one. I got a couple of chapters in, and it's centered around this time of year. Actually, I think starts around in November, so like Black Friday-ish, and I've just sort of got the setup and the lay of the land of some of the who feel like they're going to be the main characters, and curious to see where it goes. Also, I did want to mention that the live show for Our Dark Duet, if you're reading along with Izzy and Megan and me, the live show we're going to push to Monday, October 26th. This is the second book in the Monsters of Verity trilogy, or duology. I've gotten about 40 pages into this, but I haven't been able to focus. So I said, can we reschedule? And they said yes. So thank you to both Izzy and Megan. We're going to talk about it on the 26th. And it's like, because it's also like 400 pages or something. So I just not in the best, like, attention span, so I really appreciate that, and I'm curious to see where that goes. And I'm sort of like lightly considering trying to finish something, like do the like finish something every day thing. I don't know why. It's like, so at some point I thought I'm close, like to finish like 366 works in the year is what I was getting at, because it's a leap year, so normally it'd be 365, so it'd be 366. And last year I read 330 titles, and I'm like, I don't need to read more than that. I don't, like, if I don't read anything other than the stuff I'm committed to, like, I don't know, but I've just been thinking, like, wouldn't it be, like, should I do that? Should I try for 366 titles this year? I'm 2 behind, so I'd have to read 2 things and then finish something a day or 7 a week-ish. I'm not going to be like, it has to be each and every day. That's way too much maintenance. But my brain keeps on coming back to it, like being interested in this idea. And then I also created a TBR sort of like for the rest of the year. Like, these are the X amount of titles I want to finish for the rest of the year. And then I'm like, do I want to do this? So I don't know. I am in a weird, like, trying to organize things and then going, do I need to do this? Does this matter? I don't know. And I should be working on my November TBR, and I'm like, I don't know what I want to read. So obviously I'm a bit all over the place today and this week, but I did get a fair amount read, and I am hoping to finish Haunted Toronto, Apple Cider Slaying, work on My Soul to Keep, and I'm going to definitely read more of Pirate's Passion, because Immortal Pirates, seriously, that, I'm down for that. I am down for that. So let me know what you are reading this week. How are you doing now that we are halfway through October? Have you had some good spooky reads? And I will be back next week with another video. I will have other videos. I might need to take a break. I'm not sure. But I definitely have some stuff pre-filmed if that happens. So I might end up not having a Friday reads here or there, but I am going to try and do that. So hopefully next Friday there will be a Friday reads, and there will be other videos in between. So yeah, so hopefully things will just, keep on keeping on, but, you never know. Life these days, you never know. All right, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Thanks for watching.